Right. Good to see you, Lee.
You too,
How have
mate.
you been keeping during lockdown?
Yeah, not bad, pal. Not bad.
Yeah, good. So the idea is just a bit of a sit down and have a chat and see what's happening through the season and everything. Just to, lockdown. We don't know when we're going back. That's the worrying thing, really. So I'd like to start with that. What is the situation at the moment in terms of what's happening with the league? Is it going to be null and voided, or we don't know enough?
We don't know. At the moment, we're still waiting. I think we'll know more on Monday.
Right.
With what gets said, obviously, with the Prime Minister and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he lets outside sports start again, but it's a hope.
Yeah. Because, the period of this lockdown and the disruption of the season, since December, really, or no, was it November? November, wasn't it, that we stopped? I think.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, November. And we had the postponement of Hull because of waterlogged pitches and everything. And then this comes around. So this must have been really disrupting for the players, really.
Yeah. I know they all want to play. I check in with them every week. I do check in with them every week. But yeah, they all just want to get back playing. It's no good. I believe that we'd have won the league.
Yeah.
How we finished playing, especially against Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
But I know they all just want to get back playing.
I don't want to tempt fate here, but if the season is null and voided, then how would the team prepare for the next season? Would they prepare in probably the same way, or would something different be coming around because of lockdown?
It all depends on how we can get back into training, I suppose. Obviously, this pre-season we had a lot of small groups in before we got everybody back. But to be fair, the preparation was really good this year for me personally with the team. Obviously, I've only been in charge at the club a year, so I've only been manager of the development team since last March, so nearly a year. And obviously, I had to build a relationship with the players last year over the phone, because they'd only seen me 4 or 5 times and then 2 games as Marcus's assistant. So I think, speaking to them, building a rapport again with them really helps. So I don't see why, if it happens, we don't want it to, but if it does, we have to just probably go the same way. But then when we get back into training, again, same, because it's not done us any harm.
No. And everybody's mental state's fine and everything in terms of how lockdown's been, because it's been quite long, as he said, since they played.
Yeah, it's been. I've been on furlough again since Christmas, so I've just been at home on my own and trying to stay positive and look at little bits and stuff we can do. I've spoke to more, and it's hard to plan because we don't know when we're back. I've got them they're doing ball mastery sessions online on a Wednesday. They've got the sessions with the first team on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and hopefully, they will be doing their own stuff as well, what they can.
Yeah.
But it's just that, for me, it's not knowing. I'd rather them just come out and say, that's it.
Yeah. So it's just no one's saying anything, and it's just the waiting, and I guess that's the worrying thing, really. The longer we wait, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I reckon. We did. I think the club got asked what our view would be on it. I think they've said, as far as I'm aware, we've said we want to carry on.
Yeah.
You don't know. There's teams in the leagues that are lower down the league, maybe not doing so well. They may be wanting it null and voiding. But in all fairness, for the footballers themselves, it doesn't do them any good. They need to be playing.
No.
They need to be playing.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's try and shed a bit of light on the team at the moment in terms of where we stopped in the season, because we played 6 games, and to be fair, we did really, really well. We're 5th at the moment. 6 points behind Middlesbrough, who are top, who we beat. So it still looks as though it's set up to be a fantastic season if it ever resumes, because it's quite tight at the top.
It's a good league. It's a strong league.
Yeah, it definitely is. So if we do go back, the aim, I'm guessing, is still to win the league. So how would you approach the next matches if we come back?
I think in the same way as we have done, because the football we've played. I mean, I said it in all interviews. I suppose the way we play against teams, it's frightening. The ability of that group is frightening.
Yeah.
I think we've only probably hit 60% of where we could be. I don't think we're at the. I don't think we're. I think we can do more as a team. And we're getting that way. I mean, we worked on stuff, and we proved that against Middlesbrough for me.
Yeah.
How good they are.
Yeah. Well, let's just cast our mind back, if we can, to probably the very start of the season, that Leeds match where we won 5-4. That was kind of like the first impressions of the squad, really, and what was probably, in my opinion, the game of the season. It was so tight, it could go either way. What were your first impressions of the team in that first match against Leeds?
For me, obviously, we'd had a tough pre-season. So, obviously, in the back of my mind, on a personal thing, was we need a good start. We need a good start to the season, especially against Leeds. Obviously, you can go it's a derby, Yorkshire derby,
Yeah.
But, that day I got up and it felt good.
Yeah.
It felt good. And I knew from the start, the starting 11, I knew, how we were going to approach it. We knew the formation, me and Mo, we were confident after pre-season. As much as it was a tough pre-season, we knew we could do well. And then obviously I think we went 3-1 up, didn't we? Or 4-2 up?
Yeah.
3-1 up, I think after Cass scored the first, and in the manner we scored as goals, but especially after we scored the first goal, that were vital for us. And I think it just settled everybody's nerves.
Right.
And obviously it was a close game. It could have gone either way, but
we're very fortunate it went our way.
It went our way, but we played some good football.
Yeah. And
we
then
did play some good stuff.
Then the next week we drew against Liverpool Feds 0-0. There's a positive with that as well, because we kept a clean sheet. But if you could try and think back to those two starting matches, one away where we scored 5 goals and then one where we didn't concede, how would you say the team progressed in those two games? Because there's 2 different aspects, an attacking side and a defensive side.
I think for the second game against Liverpool, it was a fight. It was a scrap. It was, it was a fight. I mean, I always go over this, and I can tell you, we had 22 shots that game. I think it was. Oh no, 19. It was 22 against Durham when we got beat 4-2.
Right.
And it just didn't go. But the heart they showed and togetherness to scrap through and not concede as well were brilliant.
Yeah. And then the next game, again, was an absolutely fantastic game, 7-0 away to Sheffield. So again, that attacking display showed, again, like he did against Leeds. And this time we kept a clean sheet. So that, again, must have been a positive for you and Mo.
Yeah, massively. The way, again, we're lucky of the players we've got and how together they are. And they want to learn, they want to listen. They do sometimes mess around, which they're gonna. But I don't mind it as long as they listen and they want to learn, which they do. So, like we said in interviews, and I think, you've put it out on media, that game we had 7 goal scorers, both fullbacks scored. It says something that they know, and I say it lots, the trust I have for them to do what they want to do on the pitch, and try things, and it's not a problem for me. That is what I want them to do.
Right. You've mentioned the Durham game where we lost 4-2 at home, and the fact we had 22 shots. What can you kind of elaborate kind of on the defensive aspect that we conceded 4 goals, but you just didn't, but we only scored 2 and yet we had 22 shots? Was that very frustrating for you, that the fact that we conceded 4, yet we could have scored about 6 or 7?
Yeah, but if you break the 4 down, defensively weren't great on the 2 of them. Then 2 of the goals, the ref probably should have, and one of them stopped the game, with the new ruling. But you can't keep looking back on that, and that's what I said to him. And I also said that they can't think because they beat a team 7-0 one week, they're not just going to rock up and think, oh, this is how it's going to work every game. Every game we have to go in to want to win with hard work and graft, and still play the football. But you just can't think like that, especially in these leagues.
With that in mind, the next game against Briggs, where we lost 4-3, do you think that also played a bit of a factor as well? The fact that we won 7-0 2 weeks before, but the fact that we had a really good, chances against Durham, loads of chances. The fact that we knew we could score, but again, we lost 4-3.
No, I said to the girls on that day, that was I take full responsibility for that performance and them decisions, because I should have done things slightly different as a manager. So again, I'm still learning, but that I took full responsibility for that. It wasn't down to the players. Maybe some things could have. I mean, the pitch wasn't great, but you can't blame that. But no, I told the girls on that day, I said, it's my decision. I got it wrong.
Right.
In the second half, I got it wrong.
Okay. Then we played Middlesbrough. That was our final game. We won 3-1. What was kind of the turnaround point there? Because we lost 2 games, if not, we shouldn't have lost. We won against Middlesbrough. What was the turnaround point in the dressing room, do you think?
I don't know.
Or was there a turnaround point? Was it just the fact that the girls were fantastic?
No, I think, there's a lot of talk. There were a lot. I heard a lot of, not negative stuff, but I think there were one comment made, and I said something to them before the game. But I knew, and I spoke to Mo. I said, we will give Middlesbrough a different test to what they've had all season.
And the fact that we went behind first.
Yeah.
Were you thinking, oh Lord, here we go again? This will happen for the 3rd week in a row.
No, because of how we were playing, and they up to that point, they'd not had a shot, they'd not had a chance. I don't think it was. We lost the ball in the same manner as we'd play. We were playing in the same manner as we would. It was just a couple of seconds of a switch off. Yeah, we go 1-0 down. But the body language of the players going 1-0 down were totally different to what it was the previous weeks when somebody had scored, a team had scored past us. I knew we'd beat them.
Yeah.
And when you break that game down, we should have had 2 penalties.
Right.
For 2 horrendous challenges. But again, you can't change that. And the girls went on and, we got we got the win, which is brilliant. Yeah. Obviously knowing going into a lockdown as well.
So it was good to end on a good note, really, against Middlesbrough. So with those 6 games in mind, how much from day one has the team progressed, in your opinion?
In my opinion, loads. Coming in as a manager, and obviously there were a lot of talk of last year and what they'd done in the league, the cup competitions as well last year as a group. I wanted to build on that, and I wanted to. I was only at 2 games last year before we actually it got null and void. So there were glimpses, and I saw glimpses last year of what they can do, and I think building the relationship again with them, and they know that they're not I'm not going to have a go at them, as in trying things. That's the thing for me. Trying things, they're not going to get told off. They're not told off. I'm not going to say, what are you doing that for? I'd rather them do it. That's how they're going to learn.
Yeah.
So, I think, like I said to you then, at the beginning of this conversation, I still only think they're 50-60%.
Yeah. So
I really do.
So you're saying that this team, if the season continues, full force, watch out.
I would, I will. Yeah, I will say that. I can go on record and say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as I said before, it's a close league. It's been battled out at probably one of the highest levels. We can allude to what happened in many leagues around the world, like top level leagues, being a very big battle. This league in particular is a massive battle. Do you think that when we come back after lockdown, if the season is resumed, that our team has fighting spirit in order to win the league?
Yes, massively. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I speak to them weekly, and the message is, do you know when we're going back? We want to play football.
Yeah. So they're desperate.
And they know, and to be fair, their own views at the beginning of the season were, we want to win the league. So that says it all.
So the fighters. So that's a good thing. In order to go, I mean, look, we're 6 points off, so we couldn't be more closer, really. Well, we could be.
The thing is, I do. I mean, I said it to Mo, I said it to Jordan. I think Marcus, Luke, I said it to a few. I still go over stuff in my head of if we had to drop points there, and how it's gone on. I've watched a few of the games back as well, lockdown. So it's in our hands if it carries on. Then again, if it's not, we go again next season and we do the same.
Yeah. So it's good to hear that the team still got that fighting spirit, that probably you still have that fighting spirit to go on and win the league. That sounds fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was my birthday week before, and we should have been in Liverpool. And that's where, I got up and I said to my missus, I wish I were going to Liverpool today. I wanted the games on. And then it should have been Leeds United last week on Valentine's Day. There's nowhere else I'd be bar side on that touchline. It's what it is. That's what, when you take a job or you come into a team it requires dedication. And if it does, and that's what happens. I've said to my missus loads of times, we'll do stuff after the football season. She'll go, I'm going to do it. Well, I'll have to make sure it's out of football season, because I promised the girls and the players I would be there in that, for the whole season. So
yeah,
I'm there now. I'm ready to go. I want next year. I'm ready to go. They don't. I mean, I did a little speech before Christmas, just thanking the girls, and I think it was Faye said, "We thought you were handing your notice in." I said, "You aren't getting rid of me. You're not getting rid of me that quick." You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, fantastic. You said I've just heard you say that you've looked at all the performances during lockdown. Is there a particular standout performance where you thought that's the performance we need every week in order to go out and win this league?
I would say 2, Borough and probably Sheffield FC.
Yeah. Could you elaborate why?
If I mixed another one in, I'd say the defensive fight of the 0-0 at Liverpool.
Yeah.
But the attacking side of Sheffield and Borough.
So obviously you need them both to go and win the league, and we're not going to play Sheffield every week. We're not going to beat every team 7-0. So is there any particular aspects of our game at the moment that you quite like, that you may want to expand on, maybe improve?
The thing I like about our team is when we attack and how fast we attack. you know, we're very fortunate with a lot of attacking players that are very quick. But then we have also players that sit behind them that are very important parts of our machine, if you want to call it. You know, the whole team. You know, there's players in that team who play in defence that can step forward with the ball. There's little bits I want to work on with the fullbacks, you know, without going into too much detail, obviously. And other attacking players and the options we've got coming in. We've got a new player come in. She's been signed up. We've signed her, done everything. She hasn't played because of lockdown. You know, and the team, it's just fluid. They're just the way they communicate, the way they are as mates, the group together as mates. They're brilliant. I've said it in interviews before. I can't fault them for their efforts as well. You know, they're bang on. They're great.
Good. In those games, Lee, and I know you probably hate being asked this, is there, out of all those games, a standout performers of the team?
Is it fair to say one player? I suppose you can't really. It's a team game.
It's your opinion, really.
I would say, you know, we've changed. The keepers have done really well. You know, I mean, the save that Carter made in the Brighouse game were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Then you've got Lozer's penalty, penalty save at Sheffield in the last minute, showing you know how she was still switched on and concentrating. And then you can go through the first few games. Faye, brilliant, playing in that new role. To say she didn't play I don't think she played a lot last year. So her coming in and playing in a new role, you know, I think she's joint top scorer, isn't she, Faye?
Yeah, I think she is. Yeah.
You've got the work rate of Mace up top on her own, and then you've got the middle, the front, the other three of the attacking four quality.
Yeah.
They've all, the way we score the goals and the team goals we score, that's for me, you know, you can see it. It's brilliant to watch.
More of a team performance rather than an individual.
Yeah, I don't want, obviously it's great to have individual skill. You know, I mean, the two goals against Durham we scored were great finishes. And I think the two players that scored them would only score them type of goals.
Yeah.
But, you know, the team goals we scored, I mean, the goal, Zoe's goal against Sheffield, the link up where it come from back to front. You know, I want it to be a complete performance, but it's good to have the individual magic sometimes, I suppose, that can get us a goal if we need it.
Yeah.
Individually, but the team goals are better for me and the team performance.
Yeah. My final question, Lee, is there a particular message that you want to send out to the team right now? Because there may be, you know, we may be in limbo at the moment, but when we do go back, is there anything you want to say to them? Is there anything that, you know, you feel that needs to be said to the entire team in order to, like, maybe wake them up a bit, and in the fact that they're in a tight league at the moment, that they can make this push to win the league?
I think, you know, it's not a message. No, I'll tell you know, we'll speak about that when we do it in games, before games. They know what they need to do. They know what the standards are. They know what is expected from me and Mo. They know what's expected from each other as teammates, you know, and they push each other. You know, that I don't have to go in with a message. I mean, I think sometimes I can see I'm a little frustrated in some bits in training, but it's because they know they can do better and they know they can do it. So the message is we just keep going and we keep working hard as a group.
Brilliant.
That's it. That's all we need. If we all stick together and fight, you know, there's no reason why we can't do what we or they spoke about at the beginning of the season as a players.
It's been fantastic reflecting on the season so far. Fingers crossed that the season resumes pretty soon, that we get a message. Yeah. So thanks very much for talking to us, Lee. Thank you.
No problems. Cheers, thank you.
All right.